Hey y'all, now this is supposed to be a video for you guys, but it's more like a video for future me to keep track of what we're supposed to make. So, future me, please cooperate here. So the new shows, obviously there will be a Human Monolith remastered. There will also be some brand new shows, like a Sonic Prime style the TV show, where some weird glitch happens, but instead of Sonic crashing into a paradox prism and they all have to find a way to get out, something else triggers this multiversal system glitch. And I'll give you guys the hint, it does have something to do with Parasite X. However, it's not fully him that does this entire thing. Yup. It's gonna get very exciting, which is why I'm saving it for basically the final canon show. Maybe there might be a system reboot and all the things will just go back to normal, but that's gonna be in like 2025. And we're literally just starting off the year. So hopefully, I'll put this video in a playlist, in the Country Balls That War playlist. Is like the first video, which, so he can easily find the video in like a year or two. So that's gonna be the third to final show. The final show will be a alternate history. Actually, you know what? An explaining show, where basically it explains things like how Fleetway got here in the first place, why are Vince and Adam rivals, how did the main groups even begin, and like what were they before the group began, what was Vince's life like before he had beef with Adam and Khaled, what was Vince and Pauline's like relationship, and I'm not talking about romantically, but I'm also like friendship wise before Khaled burst through that door and completely shot down that relationship, and it exploded. And then the final show will be an alternate history show. It's gonna be kind of like commemorating the 3rd year. Now, obviously, I wanted this whole thing to be like a 5-year run. So maybe I might do that, but at the same time, that also requires me to extend the schedules really wide, which it might happen actually. But yeah, basically this alternate history show, well, it's gonna be the follow-up to that explaining show. So you know how, like I said in the, let's just say the first episode of the explaining show is how Vince and their group got together. The alternate history will explore what if they never united as a group. Spoiler alert, Adam's gonna be quite the dominant in the hood. I guess. Maybe Vince and Pauline's split will still happen, but instead of a third side showing up, someone will finally be able to compete against Adam. But yeah. As for the shows in between, I might do a actual stranded adventure. Kinda like how Alvin and the Chipmunks Chipwrecked, where basically Vince, Adam, and Khaled are stuck on an island and they have to get their way out by basically becoming primitive. Yup, they don't have their super cool technologies. Maybe Jed could help their process, but basically, it won't just be Vince, Adam, and it won't just be me and my classmates on an island. There's actually going to be a 4th counter. And no, it won't be Jonathan, it won't be Zhang, it won't be any of the antagonists, not even Daniel, which maybe most of y'all have forgotten until now, actually. So yeah, but basically, let me use, oh, cool, nice map. Nice map. I think this is made by someone else. WTF CD Foxy, yeah. But basically, although I was considering this, there might be a remaster of me and my classmates basically, it's going to be obviously a remaster. However, it will have a name change, and it will be way different. It's kind of spoilers for the plot, I guess. But basically, instead of Vince and Zoe getting together, it's Vince and Francel getting together, like it was supposed to be. And yeah, that's actually how it's supposed to happen. Vince and Francel were supposed to be, together. I kind of hinted at in season 1, episode 6, and in the very beginning, actually, because they were the first two characters to ever show up. And instead of Sean randomly appearing out of nowhere and doing basically nothing, Sean will actually be, like, being kind of like a major role, immediately. So yeah, it's basically Me and My Classmates, but if it was made later, which it actually is Me and My Classmates, but if it's made later. I might also remaster a lot more shows. Maybe Chaotic Adventures Around the World will get a remaster. It kind of had an abrupt ending. I'm not really sure about that, but like take that idea into consideration. But yeah, hopefully me from the future, maybe even me from a year, will see this video and will actually commit to these projects. Hold up, I'll be right back. Alright, so yeah, I was just called for lunch. I just had lunch. So yeah, basically, what was I talking about again? Oh yeah, the potential for a remaster of the first show. Now I might do some more things actually. I'm not really sure about these projects, just like take them into consideration. But basically, just give me a moment. Alright. I literally just thought about this. But what if I made a Vince.msi show? And I'm not gonna include all of the characters. It's just gonna be Vince.msi. Maybe his souls will be dragged in as well. So yeah, I was also considering a show inspired by the Darkness Takeover Friday Night Funkin' mod, where basically the glitch comes over to their universe, but I wouldn't be so sure as to how to animate that. It would look pretty silly and goofy. So yeah, I already did a zombie infection, and I might do a remastered Monolithian War after the Vince.msi show. But before the Vince.msi show, there's going to be a Starved Khaled remaster. Yup. It was originally a Starved Khaled, but then it changed to Starved Vince. But I thought, hey, the main character turning evil, that's pretty lame. What about the side character, the side villain turning evil? That would be pretty interesting, although. So yeah. Basically, the timeline, the Island show, followed up by the Starved Khaled show, then the Vince.msi show, then the Ravenous Khaled show. I'm naming all of them show, I'm very unoriginal. Then the Multiversal Chaos show, and then the other shows. Just throw a bunch of other shows into it as well. I'm saying shows a lot. I'm just curious, can you make a counter video to this video? But instead, it's just recording the whole video, but counting how much times I say show. Show. Okay, don't count those, but like, yeah. I also have some other ideas, actually, like maybe a AI takeover show, maybe, where, like, it's like into the future, like 2100, where everybody's like getting, like, where everybody was like freezed, and now they're like back in the future. And AI, they return to like an AI. Actually, you know what? That would be pretty interesting. Where like the characters are like freezed into like frozen labs. Every single one of them, all of the major characters, even Jonathan and Zhang, get in on this actually. But basically, it's where they like the government just desperately needs them. Like for like the first few episodes. Like they're like the government is fighting them, but the crew and their villain crew are still like in a frozen state. Like, you guys know there's like frozen chambers when it's like preserve your body for the future. Well, instead of like 1,000 years, they restore said bodies early. And there might be a prequel episode where they like sign up to being like frozen in like 20, like basically, yeah, basically after the events of a ginormous war, they decide, hey, you know what, let's just freeze our bodies so we can continue this. And then like the world government collectively decides that they need to be brought back, so they're basically abruptly brought back in like 100, maybe 150 years time. And then by the end of the show, they'll be frozen again. And then basically the final episode will be like an extra episode where it's like, you know, discovering their aftermath. That's actually a really interesting show that I only just now thought about. You know what? Shove that in. That's gonna happen before the multiversal show. It's gonna be kind of interesting. Now, obviously, if I get any new ideas, I'll add them to the playlist as well. But so far, those are the ideas. So, that's it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and goodbye.